What's up, swamp folk? We're back here again with another video looking into the Lori Vallow Daybell court hearings here, and they're gone for the weekend, so it gives me just enough time to catch up on everybody who's come on stand so far and testified. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it. If you missed the last episode, you can find a link in the description, likely the pinned comment as well, where we went over the first witness, who was one of the investigators that was looking into all of this. Next, it's going to be somebody who apparently was, for a very short time, right before Lori's husband's killing, was dating Lori's husband. And she gets pretty catty, so let's see how that all goes.
Nancy Jo, right?
Correct.
And we have not met before, correct?
We have not.
Okay. And you stated that your husband, or my husband, told you that he was going through a divorce. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And did you have any way to verify that?
No.
I mean, I guess the strength of homie's word, god dang.
So did it surprise you later to find out that we were not in the process of a divorce?
Charles was in the process of a divorce.
I don't know why that's making me chuckle. It's just like, you know, you could see like the back of Lori's head where she like whips up like this with her stupid glasses on. You know, she felt like she ate right there. She was like, yeah, what about that one, girl? And then she's like, well, I mean, he was in the process of a divorce, and that's what the records do show. I did want to just interject for a second to say that there are actual, you know, records from 2019 where Charles Vallow was filing for divorce with Lori Vallow. You can see those here. This is on KTVB7's website. I'm just going through it real quickly because so you can see like it's not true what Lori's saying. Of course, everything Lori's saying is just a lie anyway. But as you can see, there was paperwork. This was happening. Maricopa County, right here. You can see it's real. Like they were in the middle of divorcing.
He was not in the process of a divorce. Did it surprise you to find that out?
But he wasn't.
You've seen it all on TV where we're not getting divorced.
Okay.
So on the website that you met him, did he say he was divorced?
I'm not certain.
Would you have gone on a date with him if he would have said he was married?
If I would have realized how married he still was, maybe not. But I just met for dinner. I wasn't sleeping with him or anything.
I mean, she makes a valid point. I mean, like, at the end of the day, they just met it for dinner. Like, you can call it a date. Sure, that's exactly what it is. But if it didn't go past, you know, a chat and dinner, I mean, what do we compare? It's like apples to oranges, brother.
Do you go on dates with married men?
I'm going to
Not naturally?
I'm going to also object under 611 for harassment.
All right. I'll sustain the objection.
Your Honor, do I not have a right to cross-examine this witness for what she has already testified to?
You can cross-examine her about what she's testified to.
So you did go on a date with married men,
I went on a date with Charles.
but you did not.
I don't know, I just love how, like, this woman, well, we've been here for, like, a minute, and this woman is already just gonna be as snarky as Lori is, and she has no F's to give about it, and I'm here for it.
No, he was married.
I knew his divorce was not final.
His divorce was not started.
Okay.
Objection, Your Honor.
So in your text messages, you asked Charles if he was a good kisser. Is that correct?
Maybe. Sure.
Again, how are questions like this, like, relevant? We're talking about a man who was shot and killed, allegedly, by the woman asking these questions, and...
Answer that text message.
I'm
gonna
sure.
object to
I'm sure he did.
relevance.
So are you trying to tell me and this jury that you went on one date with my husband and he told you all the details of our lives?
I'm telling you the truth, and that's what I know.
So you spent your whole date getting to know each other, talking about me.
Don't flatter yourself. No, we.
Oh, sheesh. We gotta go back for that one. Don't flatter yourself.
I'm telling you the truth, and that's what I know.
So you spent your whole date getting to know each other, talking about me.
Yes, Lori, that's what they did. They spent their entire day, their entire time just talking about you, girl.
Don't flatter yourself. No, we did not spend the whole time talking about you.
You knew a lot about me, right?
Well, you seem to know a lot about me if you didn't talk about me the whole time. It's like, come on, Lori. Like, what does this have to do with anything?
I knew what I've testified to.
What else did you talk about on your date?
Lots of things.
Like what, for instance?
Life, kids, the church, lots of things.
Okay. Did he tell you about anything about our other 4 children?
Yes,
So you knew that we did have 5 children as well?
I did.
Okay. Did he talk to you about my daughter, Tylee?
He did.
Did he talk about his relationship with her?
I don't recall that.
Did he talk about you, the contention in his relationship with my daughter, Tylee?
I don't recall that.
I mean, she didn't, like, I guess they have to ask the questions, right? But it's like, if she didn't recall talking about this person, then how would she recall any other details about them? I don't know. Sometimes I feel like the questions are just, like, seamless or needless is the right word I'm looking for there. It's like, so menial. If we know what answers we're going to get, I guess we have to do it just so we're thorough. But I mean, they don't know type thing, right?
I'm sure you don't.
And I'm going to object to comments by the defendant made after questions.
No, honestly, like, you gotta stop these dumb little comments, Lori. If you're gonna make it through this trial at all, especially representing yourself for whatever reason, you psycho lady, you can't be then making dumb little snarky comments after everything that happens. It shows that there's personal attachment to your man. Already just throwing your case down the toilet. I mean, we was lost from the beginning. We knew what happened. I mean, it was pretty clear somebody shot their husband in their home, but you know, I guess I can't say that. I guess until we prove that at the end of this court case, I can't be saying that, huh?
Sustain the objection.
On your date, you talked about my husband was a life insurance salesman. Is that correct?
I knew he did something with money and insurance, but I really didn't know the details of what he did for work. Like I said, I don't ask the details about what someone does for work when I'm trying.
She did be saying that like at least twice at this point, so I don't know. Again, it's just Lori's convoluted weird way of like saying the same thing in 2 different ways, 3 different ways to try to elicit the answer she's looking for. It's definitely a sense of manipulation, a little bit of gaslighting, if you will.
Trying to get to know someone.
But you knew that he sold life insurance. You stated that.
I believe that I had a vague understanding that he did something with insurance.
And then he brought that up again at dinner.
No, we didn't talk about his work at dinner.
I thought you said you did talk about, correct me
Objection, Your Honor, leading a witness.
if I'm wrong, you said you did talk about that he changed the life insurance policy at dinner.
Well, you were asking me if we talked about that he sold insurance, which that didn't happen. But yes, he did tell me that he changed the beneficiary of his life insurance policy at dinner.
Damn, Lori, which is it? Get your question straight.
Did he tell you how much his life insurance policy was for?
Yes, he did.
What did he say?
$1 million.
Did he tell you how much my life insurance policy was for?
I do not recall.
You don't recall?
We didn't talk about you very much in that vein.
I mean, she said she doesn't recall, so I mean, what's so hard to believe here?
When did you talk to him about me very much then? If it wasn't at dinner, was it in your text messages?
We were talking about what he was going through in the process of separating from you, not about what your life insurance policy was worth. And we
Get her, sis. Get her.
talked about you on the phone, and when I say you, meaning what he was doing as he was going through this separation.
So let me understand. You were dating some different men on this website, right? From the websites.
Sure.
Would you say it was common for men to be talking so much about their supposed ex-wives during?
Actually, kind of, yeah. I don't know what she's going to say, but like, yeah. I mean, I'm a guy. I've never been married, so I can't tell you that, you know, I from example or from experience, excuse me, can say that. But, you know, coming from, you know, a broken family where my father had multiple wives and my mom had multiple husbands, I can tell you talking about their exes actually is kind of common. There's a lot of trauma there. There's a lot of bond there. You know, any marriage, assumably, is going to have its ups and downs. And, you know, yeah, they're going to talk about that. That's going to be something that they find solace or confide into, you know, whoever they're trying to make some connection with.
their conversations with a potential?
It's actually very common.
Nope, thank you,
Really?
sis.
Really.
Vindication never felt so good.
Interesting.
And again, Your Honor, I'm going to object to the defendant making comments after her questions. And
I'm
legal
sorry, Your
strike.
Honor. I won't do that again.
All right,
Man, you better freaking stop it, Lori.
please stop.
I'll just ask the question.
Loris! You know what? Loris. Loris of the trees.
So there were some text messages between you and my husband after the dinner on July 10th. Is that correct?
Correct.
What time would those text messages have occurred?
After dinner,
What time?
10:45-ish.
10:45 to what?
I'm not certain, ma'am.
Brian Deep, she's trying to get every detail. Like it matters, though. Homeboy's dead and gone. It's been like 5-6 years now. Girl, you cannot still be jealous.
After dinner.
10:45 to midnight, maybe?
I just told you I don't know.
What did you discuss in those text messages?
And I'm going to object to relevance again. If there's a specific area.
Sustained.
You testified a minute ago that Charles told you a lot of things about his wife. You didn't say ex-wife, but you said wife. Is that correct?
Okay, sure.
What were a lot of things?
Here we go again, just like yesterday's video. We're asking the same god darn question, like every fucking minute. She's just saying the same thing in every which way possible, and the judge is kind of just sitting there like in La La Land. He's clawed out apparently. He's had a few too many. And honestly, it's just like he doesn't say anything until the actual real lawyer's like, all right, enough is enough. But I mean, I know that she's just digging her own grave and everybody around her is just watching this. But this is a circus at times, man. This is tiring.
The things that I've testified to.
Can you be more specific?
Am I allowed to do a narrative then?
Let's go on sidebar.
I love the face that she's given. She's just like not having it at all. She's not having it. She's just like, can I do a narrative, brother? And just gives like the most sassy face. I don't know. Oh no, bro, put the headphones on. The way I've got this cropped is pretty awkward right now. But this is the best thing for copyright issues, my friends.
This witness shouldn't take too much longer. I'll have the jury wait for a few minutes. We'll see if we can finish this witness as we go into the lunch hour. But I'll excuse the jury for just a few minutes because we're having technical difficulty with the court reporter being able to hear.
Feels bad, man. You got people already about to go to lunch. We're tired of listening to Vallow Daybell's BS, and then of course, unfortunately, we'd have technical issues. You know, they always said technology is supposed to make life better, but I have had nothing but several migraines because of it throughout my life that I probably could have saved a lot of headaches having. But, you know, it is what it is. So we're just going to have to keep skipping forward here until we get to the parts that we want to see.
The last question the defendant asked of the witness was along the lines of, what things did you discuss about me, meaning the defendant? Is that correct?
That's
Yes.
what I recall, Your Honor.
Are you sure you wanted to answer that question? Because you're opening up a really big door.
The judge is high-key kind of talking some ish right there. He's like, you want to open up them can of worms, boy? That bottle right there of worms.
If you want her to answer the question, I'll have her answer the question.
He's like, look, Laura, you've already fucked this up enough. I'm going to give you a chance, though, Loris of the trees. Listen real quick. Just listen. Do you really want to continue to embarrass yourself today?
How am I supposed to know what a lot of...
I don't know, Lori. What would you say a lot of things are? When you talk to somebody for several hours in several different instances, are you going to describe the brunt of those conversations in a very specific way? Or are you going to be a bit vague and be like, hey, we talked about a lot of things over our years of being friends, or weeks, or days, or hours, if you will. But to expect somebody, again, remember, this is 2019. So this is now 2025, April 2025. This is 2 days ago. So now you keep that into consideration here. It's been almost 6 years. Almost 6 years since this has happened. And you're going to try to make sure that everybody has every detail to the T on the top of their brain? No, Lori. Take it for what it is and move on.
All right. If you want her to answer the question and there's no objection from the state, we'll bring the jury back in and have her answer the question. All right.
Bad move, Loris. Bad move.
You said that you had seen on TV that my husband had passed away. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Imagine going on a date with somebody a couple times and then like they don't ever hit you back up. And you're like, oh, damn, I guess I messed up. They ghosted me. You go through all that depression just to learn that they were murdered.
And you indicated after that you saw my sister-in-law, Kay Woodcock, on that show and you reached out to her. Is that correct?
I didn't indicate that, but that is correct. I reached out to Kay after I saw that Charles had died.
Okay. And did you do that through Facebook or?
I did.
Social media? Okay. How many times between that first contact and now have you and Kay Woodcock communicated?
I've spoken to her just once. I've texted her here and there about other things. I don't know what I can say.
Okay.
Damn, sis, what'd you guys be talking about? Some sort of route to dig into China to steal some government secrets? Why are you being so tight-lipped?
How many times have you texted her?
I have no idea.
Like more than 10?
Maybe.
Do you count how many text messages you send to people? Like, probably not.
Okay. Have you ever turned over those communications to the state? Did they ask you for them?
No.
Okay. Did you ever turn over the text conversations you had with my husband to the state?
I was never asked, but I understand that they retrieved them via having them through Charles' phone.
Okay.
So basically, Lori, she didn't need to. It was irrelevant. They already had access to him, and they wouldn't have needed to hit her up for that anyway. They would have just went through his phone like she just stated.
I would have had I been asked.
Okay.
100%.
Did you turn over any other communications that you had with anyone else regarding this case to the state?
Don't believe I've had any other regarding this case to turn over to anybody, so no.
Okay.
God damn.
How many times have you spoken to this prosecutor?
To Ms. Kay,
Yes, to Miss Kay.
I met with her once in person and one other phone call, and then just text messages about the logistics of being here today.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
How many text messages would you say?
I
37.
have no idea.
More
420, 69.
than 10?
I know court was running behind, so she had to text me to come at a different time, probably counting yesterday and today to redo the time more than 10, yes. Prior than that, probably no.
So what's the angle here, Lori? Are we trying to say that there's some conspiratorial thing going on here with the prosecutors making it so you look like a terrible person who shot their husband? I don't know. I don't think that's what's going on here, Lori. I think. And that's allegedly. I'm saying I think.
Okay.
Dolores.
Did you have a meeting with her to prepare for this testimony?
I met with her once,
How long was that meeting?
an hour, maybe an hour and a half.
Okay. Was anyone else there?
No,
Now, it's not like super uncommon to meet with a prosecutor, you know, especially if you've never like testified before. You know, it's kind of common sense to think that you'd need to be coached a little bit on how this all works.
Have you ever spoken to my brother, Adam?
yes, but only because I ran into him at my grandson's pickleball tournament the other day.
Ooh, the lore runs deep. Pickleball tournaments.
And how did you know that was him?
Because I've seen him on media via the situation surrounding you.
So you initiated a conversation with him?
I just said hi, and he asked me who my grandson was, and I pointed it out, and that was the end of it.
So you introduced yourself to him? To my brother?
I don't know that I introduced myself, but maybe.
I mean, it's kind of a yes or no. You know, you either introduced yourself or you didn't. I mean, I don't know.
How would he know who you were?
I don't know that he knew who I was. I knew who he was.
So you went up and talked to him?
I did talk with him, yes.
He didn't call you over, so you went up and talked to him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When you were talking to him, you told him you were who?
I told him that my name was Nancy Jo Hancock.
And did he recognize that name from something?
Can I go back and change how I met your brother? I forgot this until right now. So
Uh-oh. We got more tea. All right, Lori.
on a dating app, your brother's picture came up on my dating app. And I sent him a message and said, but he had a different name that he used, not Adam. And so I just sent him a message and said if he was going to use someone else's pictures, he should probably pick someone different than Adam Cox. That's how I
Interesting.
met him.
Very, very interesting. Now, that's probably the most interesting thing we've genuinely heard this entire session.
That's how you met my brother, Adam?
Correct.
Do you know what perjury is?
Absolutely.
Object.
This isn't perjury. Chill out, Lori. You're trying way too hard to be the smartest person in the room.
Your Honor,
Question.
argumentative, harassment.
Argumentative.
How long was this conversation that you had with my brother at the pickleball tournament?
A couple of minutes, maybe less.
And how many times had you communicated with him before that?
Only that message on that dating app. Besides that,
One message, one
I mean, she made that pretty clear.
time?
I don't remember. I think he messaged me back, and it didn't continue.
So just the one day then? Maybe several messages in one day?
I might have sent him one other message, but it was just one interaction, and there was nothing further.
Lori's trying to make it seem like they had some sort of connection deeper than it was. But again, a lot of these connections she's trying to make, I just don't see how she could spin it to make her case any better.
And you did not schedule a date with him?
I did not.
Okay. Have you ever spoken to Brandon Boudreau?
Yes.
Okay, when?
He attends the same church that my daughter does, and he happened to be at their house briefly, and I didn't really speak to him. I just knew that that's who he was
And how did you know who he was?
because my daughter told me.
And who did she say he was?
Brandon Boudreau.
In relation to me.
She knows the story, and I know the story, so she just had to tell me that his name was Brandon Boudreau.
Well, damn, Lori, I don't know how more descriptive she can be about this, but let's see how many more times you're going to ask the exact same question.
That he was married to my niece. Is that the information that you had?
I know that he was married to your niece, yes.
Okay. Just the association is all I was asking. And you did speak to him that time?
Well, I don't believe I spoke with him.
Okay. But you met him. Or
I don't know that I even met him. I was there. He was there with some other people, and I knew that that's who that was.
so you didn't introduce yourself to him?
I did not.
Okay.
She just said that. She just said
Did
that.
you speak to any other law enforcement besides Miss K? Not that she's law enforcement, but did you speak to any other law enforcement about this case or be interviewed?
Yes.
Who? Who did you speak with?
Would it be the investigating officers, Lori?
Detective Moffat is who interviewed
Well, guess who won the goddamn chicken dinner? It's your boy Swampy D.
me. I believe that's. I might have left a message for him. I couldn't tell you who with, but the only one that I spoke to was Detective Moffat, Nathan Moffat.
And when was that interview?
In 2020, I believe in April, a long time ago.
Yeah, 5 years.
How long was that interview? About?
It was a telephone interview, and it lasted 45 minutes, I'd say.
Is that the only law enforcement that you spoke to besides the prosecutor?
Yes.
And how long between that interview with Detective Moffat and your first communications with Ms. K, how much time passed in between there?
With Trina Kay,
Correct.
I met with her just a month ago, 5 weeks ago,
So several
and
years.
I gave an interview in 2020.
So several years. This is the end of her questioning. There's one or two more, but we know what Lori's gonna do. She's gonna ask the same thing 5 different times, and it is what it is. So that's gonna be the end of this installment of the Lori Vallow files, but we're gonna keep on keeping on. There's more depositions, way more people coming up to the stand. There's gonna be a lot more cringy questioning here for sure, and you know Swampy D's gonna be there, White Claw in hand more than likely, following it the entire time. I appreciate you guys. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you soon.